Hey guys, Megan McIntosh here. Welcome to this video. Today's setup is pretty awkward. My ring light broke, and so a knob I can't get from Amazon for a couple weeks in September. So I have I have my ring light propped up against a couple books here, and I'm literally kneeling on the floor with a pillow instead of a chair because it just doesn't work. I have to be like focused in on for the lighting. So if you're there watching, let me know, say hi, drop a 1 down below in the comments if you're watching right now. Drop a 2 down below in the comments if you're watching the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from, what city, what town, what country. Today I want to talk about letting go of the need to be perfect in order to get clients. And it suits today so well because I'm slightly delayed getting on. I was texting one of my friends and just was talking to Devin, and it's just been one of those days where I'm like, I gotta get on, and everything's like taking me away from getting online quick enough, and then I had to do my setup. So apologies for being slightly delayed, but I know you're gonna enjoy this. I'm really excited for this topic because I think this is one of the biggest things that people struggle with. And you might think, well, I don't need to be perfect always, but when you want to build your brand online, one of the hardest things is wrapping your head around being okay to be you 100%, fully, completely, every little thing about you, warts and all, and seeing so many other people who may have a perfect feed or the perfect copy or the perfect video or the perfect setup, and feeling maybe less than, or feeling that, well, if I just had that, I would be this successful already, or if I already had this, that outfit, or if I look that way, or whatever it is, I would be here. And I think that that is something that we humans love to compare, and especially when we're in a place where perhaps we aren't where we want to be, we're looking around at other people who are maybe further along, and it maybe makes us feel that we should be there, or maybe we're not able to get there because we're lacking in something, right? And I know that this is something that I don't think I struggle with it in terms of thinking that I need to be different than who I am. I think I've always been very myself through my life. I mean, I have a wacky sense of humor. I'm quite quirky, and I've never really had a problem speaking in front of people or being, making fun of myself and just being goofy and everything like that. So I don't think that's where my need for perfection lies. But I do feel that, everybody has their own thing, right? Where they are feeling less than. And I think for me, I guess when I was younger, I was quite short, and I was always like, I wish I was taller, right? That was maybe one thing that bothered me. And I remember that my eyebrows were always darker than my hair, which is random because I had super light blonde hair and I had dark eyebrows, so I thought that was kind of weird. But other than that, like, I was pretty cool with who I was. I was actually quite confident growing up. But as you get older, right, you start getting socialized, and you see things, and you look and compare at where maybe you are versus where other people in your field are, and it makes you feel like, well, maybe I should be there, right? And so one of the things that I do is I constantly remind myself that this thinking is, actually I don't really remind myself this all the time because I'm pretty good now with how I feel, but even sometimes you're going to have those human moments where it comes up, and of course a lot of my clients have this feeling, and it doesn't matter how old you are, honestly. You could be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, however old you might be, that you still might have those thoughts of being not where you want to be, right? I was talking to someone in their 50s recently, and they were saying, oh, I want to be here, and this is like my goal for where I want to be in my life. And it's a normal thing, right? That we all have human brains that go there, that have these a visual thing of what we want, right? And that's one of the things with personal development is you visualize and you decide on what you want and where you want to go. And then, of course, that is so important in growth and developing ourselves and getting ourselves to that next level. But what that can also do is make us feel like we're not there yet and that we have so much far to go. And that can be, that it's almost like the two sides of the coin of having that ambitious thinking, of having that this is where I want to go to next, and having a lot of goals, is that you never feel like you are good where you are. And that's the number one thing I want you to take away with. It doesn't matter where you are, right? Where you are right now is exactly where you should be. And now you might be thinking, well, it's not where I want to be, but it's almost like you take where you are as a learning opportunity. So I'm going to give you like an extreme example of where I had to literally change this way of thinking so that I can make it a learning opportunity for me, and that I carry through me, and that I use as an example of reminding myself that it's okay to be in this feeling, right? Okay, so many of you may know if you watch my videos. If not, this is maybe a new story to you. But I lost my mom to cancer, and she had like a 9-year battle with cancer. So it was a long time that she had cancer. So a long time of being in that state of not knowing what's going to happen to her. And she never went into remission. So it just kept on getting worse and worse, and trying a different trial drug, and just like it never got better. And so I always knew she had cancer. I just didn't know, what was going to happen. I knew eventually she would pass away, because when she originally got diagnosed, I literally Googled the diagnosis. I was like, okay, she has about 5 years, which sounds really scary to think that I would do that. But I did Google that just to prepare myself. Now, in the end, she actually outlasted her diagnosis of what a lot of you would read online and research papers on that. And she lived 9 years with a specific type of cancer that she was diagnosed with. But having that in the back of my mind, knowing that, wow, she could pass away in 5 years. And then after, those 5 years, almost like feeling like living on borrowed time, or wondering, is she going to get better, right? Oh, will this next experimental thing work, right? Oh my gosh. And always looking for that future, always looking for, well, maybe this is going to work. Maybe this is going to get better. And it is important to live with hope, especially when you have someone that's, really sick around you. I'm so glad that I held on to hope the whole time. Obviously, the last 2 years of her life were very hard. And so, it's not like you're thinking about hope because you know that she's very sick, but you just want to make that period of time when she is maybe in palliative care or really sick, make that time period happy, right? Happy and as healthy as possible. So it's not like you're losing hope, but you're making sure it's as peaceful, as good, and as happy, and you're getting as much time with that person as possible. And I'm just kind of went on a tangent with that, but just want to bring it back to what I'm talking about, how I was able, what kind of mindset I had during that time. So over those 9 years, and subsequently maybe 2 years after she died, it was a very difficult time for me in terms of my thinking, and in terms of grieving. And there's pre-grieving involved, there's like feeling a state of limbo, the 2 years that she's really sick. It's just like, it's a lot, right? And then after she passed away, obviously you grieve her passing away. And I remember being on the bathroom floor and being in so much pain around this, like knowing that she was gonna die, and like just so much pain, right? And there was so many bathroom, I don't know if you've ever thought about that or done that, but there's like, you're literally in a cold bathroom floor and you're on the floor like hugging a toilet, not even drunk or anything, just like wanting to be, I don't know what it was. It was just like feeling that sense of comfort. I have no idea. But anyway, and remembering thinking to myself, if this is as low as it can be, if this is like how I feel in the hardest time, like obviously there could be other hard times that come in my life. I'm not saying there can't be, right? But at that period of time, I could say, well, this probably is one of the hardest things I'm going to go through with my life, right? My mom dying, right? Maybe a dad dying, or a sibling dying, or, you know, a child dying, or something like that, or my own sickness would probably like be quite traumatic as well. And there's so many other traumatic things that I could think of, which I don't want to think about right now. But I remember at that time thinking, if this is one of the most traumatic things I'm going to go in my life, go through my life, I'm on the floor in the bathroom. I was literally watching myself. I'm devastated. I'm crying. I'm out of tears right now. I'm just like so frustrated because I'm just like all emotion is spent, right? You know, you get the anger out, you get the cries out, and you're just like shivering there on the floor and just like, I don't want to move. I'm just stuck in this like this feeling of like, it's not fair, this feeling of like, I can't believe this is happening, this feeling of like, this sucks, right? Just all these things of like emptiness and not loving things going on. And I said, there's this spark of like, if this is the worst, that one of the worst ways I could possibly feel, then I'm going to be all right. And it like literally that comforted me, because I was like, well, this is as bad as it can get, and I'm still okay. I'm still getting up. I'm still like laughing with my friends. I'm right. Like, it's such a contrast when you go through grief and when you go through someone with cancer or any type of difficult thing. I'm sure you're not in that state for 24/7, right? You still have moments of being human and having fun and laughing and joking and being happy and enjoying your life, and then you'll have those moments of like hard where you're thinking about it and it's hard for you, right? So I'm trying to think where I was going with the story. I like knew at a point with what I was saying with this. I think it was just a matter of like, oh, I guess the thing was a contrasting of like perfection and looking at where other people are and wondering like, I wish I could be there, or thinking, oh, if I was only there, I'd be happy. I was able to literally realize that I could still be happy. I could still be me in that moment in time. And I realized that I thought, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have so much growth from this. Literally, when I was in the hardest time, I literally changed my mindset. Or it wasn't even I changed it, I just thought of this. I said, wow, when I get past this, when I get through the grieving, when I get through this really hard period of time, you know, they do say time heals, especially, obviously the person is still in your heart and you still love them and you care about them and think about them, but time truly does heal. Like, I'm healed from that grieving, I'm healed from that, you know, many, many years of going through that. I remember in the midst of it, in the midst of that hardship, feeling like I'm still me, I'm still able to be happy, and I'm still okay, that I can go through anything, and that I will still be okay, and I'm getting growth from this. So the way I thought of it was, holy cow, like, I should just remember this. I should like write down my feelings. I should like mark this down somewhere of this feeling, this like these emotions, because when I look back, I'm going to grow. I'm going to see, what am I learning from this? I was always like, what am I learning about like the experience of going through a hard illness through this? What am I learning about death through this? What am I learning about the meaning of life through this? What am I learning about compassion through this? What am I learning about, you know, numerous things, grieving, you know, being able to still, you know, be me and be truthful to me. And that's what I want you to remember, is that wherever you are in your life, in your business, if you're, you know, goal-oriented and you want to get to that next level, knowing that, yes, it's so important to make goals. It's so important to be like, I want this many clients, or I want to get this income goal, or whatever it is. But it's just as important to be okay with where you are, and literally like almost like watch yourself and see yourself. And if you ever see yourself putting yourself down, or comparing yourself, or feeling like you're not where you should be, sitting with yourself with this and saying, oh my gosh, my story, when I get out of this, when I do get all these clients and get as successful as I need to be, or whatever it is, I am going to have such a good story that I can help other people with, that I can teach people through, right? Like that story, like I knew that if I got through that grieving period, my story, if I needed to ever help anyone through their own grief, would be like, I would know how to hold that person. I would understand all the emotions that they went through. And I felt like equipped for that. And same thing with like going through business. Like I've been doing coaching since 2012, technically, right? I did coach training school in 2011 at the Coactive Training Institute, which used to be called Coaches Training Institute, one of the top coach training schools in the world, right? And although I've gone in and out of it because I went into it, and then, sorry, I just got a notification. I started coaching and then I took a step back and did some filmmaking, and now I kind of like straddle both. I do filmmaking and content creation as well as my coaching. You know, I was able to maneuver that and feel okay no matter the noise around me, right? No matter people saying, oh, you can't have a passion project and do it, right? You know, no matter whatever noise is out there on the internet saying how you should build your business or how you should run your business. For me, I knew that at one point I was like, I wasn't doing films, I wasn't creating content that way, and I wasn't coming up with like more creative writing, and I knew that I wanted to do that. So I made it okay for myself to do that. I made it okay for myself. It's okay to still do filmmaking and do different things that you want to do as well as your coaching. You don't have to be like everybody, right? You can still do both and be that creative as well as that coach, right? And I think a lot of people are always looking at the perfect Instagram feed, looking at the perfect funnel or perfect emails, or that person out there who looks on to them to be successful. But you're not like them, right? You're never going to be like them 100%. They, you know, maybe you have children, they don't have children, or maybe they're married, you're not married, or whatever it is, or maybe they're living in another country than you, or maybe they like doing one-on-one coaching and you like doing group coaching, or maybe, you know, you paint and they don't, right? And so the thing is like, you have to sort of like step away from the perfectionism, which is often felt by looking around, and really sink into what you want and your values and what is important for you to build business your way. And that's how I like really work with my clients the most, is really stepping into their life and seeing what kind of business can we create for them, right? It doesn't have to be where they're doing Instagram stories 24/7 or Reels or YouTube or whatever, right? Like it's going to be a business based on the way they want to live their life. And I think it's important to remind yourself that like what we see online is not necessarily, you know, it looks pretty and everything like that, but you also have to say that like that's probably like 10% of someone's life, honestly, right? And so if that's 10% of someone's life, what are they doing the rest of their time, right? Like they're putting something out there for you to see specifically, right? They want you to see the glory and stuff. So it's always good to say, well, what other elements of their life do they have that they're not showing me? And realize that like they're just like you. They're gonna have a life that's separate from their business or separate to what you're seeing online, and there might be parts of their life that you actually don't realize that aren't that great. Right? Like they might have total values that are totally opposite of you. I think I followed people before and on social media, and this is why I'm very careful not to like look up to celebrities and social media influencers. It doesn't mean that I'm not like looking at their style of dress or the way they do captions or the way they like look online and things they say. I'm like, oh, I like the way they talk and stuff like that. But I'm never going to be like, that's the way I should do my business, because there's so oftentimes you don't know the whole story behind them and you don't know all their values. I remember I was following some people online, just watching their stuff, and then slowly some of their values came out that I completely disagreed with, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it, right? And it's often you don't necessarily know someone's values until they're constantly out there, and eventually they'll say them. But it's like, that's why you're like, wow, this is such a different picture than I imagine that person to be like, right? Like, I can't believe that's the way they think, and yet this is the picture that they show, right? And it wasn't like I was like obsessed with them. I just remember following people and then like seeing something and I'm like, wow, I never thought that person thought that way, right? And it doesn't matter even if they thought that way, right? Like, everybody's going to think something different. Everyone's going to have different opinions, values, that kind of thing. So that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to really talk about perfectionism, talking about not needing to be perfect online, but at the same time, knowing who you are and knowing that perfectionism often happens when you're looking outside of yourself, when you're not realizing what your gifts are, when you're not realizing what your life is like and the fun of your life. Like this summer, I haven't been putting out as much content, and not because I don't have a virtual assistant doing that for me, but just because I haven't been writing as much, right? And just because I've been enjoying the beach and I've been enjoying my summer, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have as much content to put out as usual, right? And that's not a big deal, right? And I know that so many people have specific ways of working, that you have to be a certain way and be on Instagram stories all the time or do the whole reels and be constantly out there. You don't have to, right? You can get clients by doing a couple things really well, right? And one of the things that I rely on is my relationships with people and my coaching ability, right? I don't have to be doing funny captions in my reels or doing 100 stories or doing a story every day to get clients, because I know that other ways to get clients. It doesn't have to be me performing. And obviously those are great and fun ways to do it, and do them if you love doing that kind of stuff. But if you want to take a breather and you want to get clients, there's other ways to do it rather than following the latest trend or what everyone's doing online. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you to just be yourself and build a business that you want your way, and not worry about what other people are doing, and just really focusing on the things that you love to do and things that you're good at. If you need help with that, I'm your girl. I love to coach with people who really want to build their business and especially get more sales in a way that really feels authentic to them, and that's fun, right? Like, I'm pretty much all about fun and goofiness and being funny, and I just like that vibe and that energy. And I think it's really important that I like to have that fun, but I also like to have the structure, right? I love to really focus on like the mindset, the marketing, the sales, and the energy and creativity within a business, right? Those main 5 things that are really going to help you get your business right. If you don't know anything about sales, that's the career I was in for 15 plus years in the advertising and entertainment industry. So that's one of the things that I'm really good at. And I happen to be in sales in the ad industry, which is all about marketing. So I've learned about marketing. I've learned about internet marketing, learned how to market online. So those are the 2 things that you really need to learn if you want to build a business, if you want to attract clients, and really understand that it's like one client at a time, or if you put something else that you can leverage your posts and your content. But it's also like getting in that energy of creativity. For me, I would never want to do a business without being innovative and creative, and that's like a tenet of the way I teach, is really asking that person what is gonna light them up, what makes them happy, what are the things that they like to do, right? And if they don't like to do them, to maybe get help to do them, get someone else to do them for them, right? Because you want to live in that area of creativity and know what are the zones of genius that you want to be doing in your business, right? So for me, I think about what do I want to be creative in. I love to speak, I love to do videos like this, I love to write, and I love to coach. Pretty much those are the main things. I'm not really good at spreadsheets. I'm not really good at data stuff. I like to network with people, but there's certain things that I don't want to be in that zone, and so you give to other people. But there's going to be things that maybe you like to do that are going to make you in that creative energy, right? And then the mindset and energy behind things, right? So the mindset is really the way you think and the way you feel, and how that is making you take action. And that is such an important thing to remember, is that you can know all the marketing and sales strategies and be as creative as you want, but if you're not implementing them, there could be something that's going on for you to stay stuck, and for you not to be taking action and executing on what you're supposed to be doing, simply because you're thinking thoughts or you're feeling certain things that are stopping you from doing it, right? Maybe you're not confident, maybe you're feeling blah one day, right? And so it's like overcoming those times when you're procrastinating by knowing how to like shift your mind and then shift your energy as well. Like energy is everything. And actually my friend Natasha, I just saw her website the other day, so maybe that's where I thought that. It's energyiseverything.ca. And she does energetic practices. She does Reiki, and she's like a designer, but creative. You know, that was her background, but she's really into spiritual healing and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, go for that. But in terms of the way I teach energy, it's more about understanding like what are the things that are going to keep you healthy, keep you happy, keep you inspired, right? Because we can't, you know, we can't do our business on fumes, right? We can't just be like constantly motivating ourselves, right? We need to actually put in inspiration and understand like why we're low on energy. Like sometimes it's literally like the way we're thinking thoughts are bringing down our energy, seriously. So that's what I'm offering you today. If you're interested in coaching with me, feel free to check out the link. I've got a link and you can get on a call with me. It's a 30-minute call. Call it like the Sales Sorcery Strategy session. And I really give you like 1 to 3 tips to take away from that. It's absolutely free call. At the end of the call, if you decide you want to work with me and you like my style, we can talk about that as well. But really, it's just me getting to know you, you getting to know me, and see if we would be a great fit. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever you may be. Bye.